Hey everyone, the Social Security Administration doesn't treat every retiree the same way. Your birth year decides your full retirement age, it decides which claiming strategies are open to you, and it decides which errors will permanently shrink your monthly payment. Right now, in 2026, there are people sitting in each of these categories who are either collecting less than they should be, or standing right on the edge of a choice they won't be able to reverse. All because nobody ever walked them through the rules that apply specifically to them. That's what today's video is for. Find the group that matches your birth year, pay attention to what's said about it, and by the time this ends, you'll know precisely what to review and what steps to take next. Before we jump into the groups, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that now and switch on notifications. Here's why that actually matters. Social Security rules shift all the time. Full retirement ages, income limits, Medicare surcharges, repayment rules, and whenever something changes, the SA doesn't reach out and walk you through it personally. They update the policy and assume you'll catch up on your own. This channel exists to take those updates, translate them into what they mean for your exact circumstances, and put that information in front of you before the deadline passes and before a costly mistake is already locked in. Every single group we're covering today has something specific unfolding in 2026 that touches them directly. Subscribers here tend to catch these changes early. The people who scroll past usually find out only once the wrong claiming choice, the missed deadline, or the lost income has already happened. So hit that subscribe button, turn the bell on, and let's get started. Group 1. Anyone born between 1943 and 1954. That puts you somewhere between 72 and 83 years old right now. You've likely been drawing Social Security for years already, and your full retirement age landed at 66. At this stage, most folks in this bracket figure there's nothing left worth double-checking. That assumption is quietly costing a portion of you actual dollars every month. The first item to verify is whether you're actually receiving the correct benefit. A surprising number of widows and widowers in this age range are still collecting off their own work record when their late spouse's record would pay them more. Or the reverse is true. A surviving spouse can be entitled to as much as 100% of what the deceased spouse was collecting. And in plenty of cases, that figure is meaningfully larger than what the survivor gets on their own history. If you lost a husband or wife and never asked SA directly to run both numbers side by side and place you on whichever pays more, there's a genuine chance you've been shortchanged for years without realizing it. Contact SSA at 1-800-772-2113 and ask them to compare both benefit amounts for you. The second thing this group needs to look into is Medicare, specifically the IRMA surcharge. If your income spiked in an earlier year because of selling a house, converting a retirement account, or any other single event, Medicare could still be billing you based on that outdated figure. IRMA surcharges can add anywhere from roughly $70 to close to $500 on top of your normal Part B premium every single month. The form used to appeal this is SSA 44, and it's built specifically for people whose income has since dropped because of a qualifying life change. If your Medicare Part B bill is running above $185 a month, it's worth finding out why. Group 2. Born somewhere between 1955 and 1959. That makes you between 67 and 71 years old today, and this is the group where 2026 matters most, because the rules shift with every individual birth year and hardly anyone in this range knows their own exact number. Here's the full retirement age laid out year by year. Born in 1955, your full retirement age is 66 years and 2 months. Born in 1956, it's 66 years and 4 months. Born in 1957, it's 66 years and 6 months. Born in 1958, it's 66 years and 8 months. Born in 1959, it's 66 years and 10 months. That is your figure, not a flat 66, not a flat 67, but your own specific month and year. Why does this carry so much weight right now? because this is exactly the window where people in this group are deciding, or have just decided, when to file. And the gap between the right call and the wrong one lasts forever. Say you claimed at 62 with a full retirement age of 66 years and 6 months, meaning you were born in 1957. Your check was cut by roughly 25.8%, and that reduction follows you for life. On a $2,000 benefit, that's $516 gone every month. Stretch that across 20 years, and you're looking at $123,000 lost. SA won't flag this for you before you apply. They simply process what you request. For anyone in this group who hasn't filed yet, if you're already past full retirement age and still holding off, every extra month you wait adds 0.2% to your benefit permanently, which works out to roughly 8% a year. Between full retirement age and 70, that can add up to somewhere between 24% and 32% more per month for the rest of your life, depending on your birth year. On a $2,000 benefit, that could mean an extra $640 a month, permanently. And for anyone in this group still working, while already collecting before full retirement age, the earnings test kicks in. In 2026, once you earn past $23,400 for the year, SA holds back $1 for every $2 you go over that threshold. That money isn't gone for good. It gets added back into your benefit once you hit full retirement age, but if nobody's told you that, seeing your check shrink can feel like money vanishing for no reason. Group 3. Born between 1960 and 1965. You're currently between 61 and 66, and for every single person in this group, full retirement age lands exactly at 67. Right now, the most urgent thing to understand is exactly what happens if you file before that. Filing at 62 with a full retirement age of 67 cuts your monthly check by 30%, permanently, on a $2,000 monthly benefit. That's $600 gone every month for the rest of your life. Over a 20-year retirement, that adds up to $144,000 in losses compared to holding out until 67. SA will process an early claim without ever warning you about the size of that cut. They'll ask if you understand the reduction, you'll say yes, and that lower number becomes permanent. There's also a lesser-known option most people in this group never hear about. Once you're past full retirement age of 67 and you apply, you can request up to 6 months of retroactive benefits, and SA will pay you as though you'd filed up to 6 months earlier. On a $2,000 monthly benefit, that could mean a lump sum of up to $12,000 in your first payment, in exchange for a slightly smaller, ongoing monthly check since your official start date moves backward. It's available, and almost nobody requests it. If you're still 5 or 6 years out from filing, the single best move you can make right now is reviewing your earnings record. Head to ssa.gov, set up a My Social Security account if you don't already have one, and pull up your statement. Check the earnings listed for each year against your own records. A single wrong year, an employer who misreported your pay back in 1995, a freelance stretch that never made it onto your record, a company that shut down and whose payroll history got lost can lower your eventual monthly benefit by roughly $100. Catch it now while there's still time to fix it, instead of finding out after you've already filed. Group 4. Anyone born in 1966 or later. You're 60 or younger, and you're not near claiming Social Security yet. That's exactly why this matters, because the window to correct things at no cost to you is still open, and it won't stay open indefinitely. Your full retirement age is 67. Filing at 62 means a permanent 30% cut. Waiting until 70 means up to 24% more than your full benefit, for life. Those numbers are already fixed. What isn't fixed yet is whether your earnings history is accurate. SA has been logging your payroll data since your first paycheck, and that data all came from your employers. Every single year carried the risk of an error slipping through, a mistyped figure, a year that simply got skipped, a stretch of self-employment that wasn't reported the right way. Every uncorrected mistake shaves roughly $100 off your eventual monthly benefit for each year affected. If any part of your career fell in the 1980s or 1990s, back when payroll was still handled manually, there's a real possibility at least 1 year on your record doesn't match what you actually earned. Fixing it isn't complicated, but it does take paperwork, and that paperwork only gets harder to track down as time passes. W-2 forms, old pay stubs, past tax returns, all of it is far easier to find today than it will be 15 or 20 years from now. Go to ssa.gov, open your statement, and compare the earnings listed for every year against whatever records you have on hand. If anything looks off, file a request to correct your earnings record along with the supporting paperwork. SA will process the correction and update your file. Handle it now while you still have the documents and while fixing it costs nothing. So here's the recap, group by group. Born between 1943 and 1954, confirm you're on the correct benefit, especially if you're a widow or widower, and check whether an IRMA surcharge is overbilling you on Medicare, since it may be appealable. Born between 1955 and 1959, know your exact full retirement age down to the month, understand what claiming early costs you permanently, and if you're working while collecting before full retirement age, understand how the earnings test applies to you. Born between 1960 and 1965, understand what a 30% permanent cut actually means in real dollars before you file, and check whether the retroactive lump sum option fits your situation. Born in 1966 or later, log into ssa.gov today, pull up your statement, and verify your earnings history year by year while you've still got time to fix it for free. Subscribe and pass this along to anyone you know who fits into one of these groups.